Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some tips and tricks on how to sustain and last in the keto diet for a very long time. So I'm just going to go straight into those. Now, if you see me look down, just be aware that I've got my notes underneath, so that's why I'll be doing that. Okay, let's go straight into it. So I've got about, let's say, 7 tips and a trick that I would like to share with you today. And the first one is, if you're going to go on the keto diet, one thing you've got to that's very important is you've got to prepare your meals ahead of time. Now, if you have a busy lifestyle just like as I do, one advice I can give is make sure you prepare your meals ahead of time. Now, this is going to help stop you from snacking and stop you from eating things that are outside of your keto diet. Now, when I mean prepare your meal ahead of time, just take one weekend, cook a large quantity of food, a batch of different foods in large quantities, and then store this in a bowl. Now, I wouldn't say prepare 5 days worth of meal because that's going to be too much and you might get bored with it along the way. So what you can do is prepare 3 days worth of meal ahead of time and then store this in the fridge or freezer, and then that means you've got enough food to last you. So when you're hungry, you can easily go to the fridge, pull one of those out, put it in the microwave, and you've got something to eat. Because then if you haven't got that, then that means you're going to start preparing food on the spot, and you have more chances of going for something that is quick and within reach to eat, and that way whatever it is you eat might kick you out of ketosis if it's not on a keto plan. So make sure you prepare your meals ahead of time. Now, the second tip I'm going to be sharing, which I've already shared in my previous video, if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. Substitute your foods. Now, it depends on where you come from. I'm Nigerian, and in my country, we've got specific foods that are unique to our culture, unique to our country. Jollof rice is one of them. We've got yam. You've got what else? So there are specific foods depending on your country that you know that it's unique to your country. Now, find substitutes for those food. For instance, for jollof rice, how I substitute my jollof rice is I use cauliflower. Now, not everybody likes cauliflower. Cauliflower might not be your cup of tea. But trust me, after you've done it once or twice, you will get the hang of it and your taste buds will get used to it. Now, I like cauliflower anyway, so it's not an issue for me. So what I do is I grate my cauliflower, put it in the microwave for about 2 minutes, and then I can use that with my stew. So that becomes my white rice and stew. If I want to make jollof rice, now bear in mind cauliflower is a vegetable, so you don't have to cook it for too long. So I'll first of all make my sauce and then grate my cauliflower again, pour it into the sauce, stir it and let it cook for a short while. And that's my jollof rice. So for me, it means I'm not missing out on rice. I can still eat rice, but I'm just using a vegetable substitute. If you like gari or eba, it depends on what part of Nigeria you come from. I'm Igbo and we tend to eat gari more. Now, if you like that and you know you can't do without it, now instead of taking it out of your diet completely, which might then lead you to want to go eat the normal gari because you're craving for it, you've got the cauliflower that you can use to make your gari. You've got coconut flour, you've got almond flour. If you've got what else? You've got I can't remember what else, but there are so many other things out there that you can use to substitute in place of gari. So you can make your gari, cook your soup, and you can have your swallow as usual if that's what you like. So make sure you try and substitute your foods. Do not take things out of your diet, because if you do, then those things will be like it will be, you will crave for them, and when you crave for them, you're more likely to eat them. And in that way, you're going to spoil the hard work that you've already put in. So please and please again, substitute your foods. If you like sugar, and you know you can't do without sugar. For me, I can do without sugar. I don't use sugar in my tea. I don't use sugar in my coffee. But if you're someone who can do without sugar, there are sugar substitutes that you can have on a keto diet. I think there is xylitol and there is erythritol. I don't know if I'm saying them right, but These things are out there. I'm going to be putting the link below this video of all the products that I've mentioned that you can buy. But if you know you like sugar, please do not cut sugar out of your diet. Find the substitute, sugar substitute, and use those in place. And then that way, you find that you're not missing out on anything. Now, for me, this is a very important tip, because this is what kept me going for too long. I tried as much as possible to substitute every main meal that I usually have on a normal diet. I find the vegetable substitute, and then I make those, and then that meant I'm not missing out on anything. Now, the next point is make and choose a breakfast plan. If you're a breakfast person, now one thing I've got to say, once you start the keto diet, and once you get into ketosis, you find that you're not feeling hungry. You don't get hungry easily, so which means you can go on for a very long time without food. But when you start a diet, the initial starting phase, you might, and if you're a breakfast person, you might have to have your breakfast. Please do not, in the initial phase, I would advise you, do not try to skip meals, because you're only going to be harming yourself by making yourself more hungry. On the keto diet, the plan is not for you to be hungry or for you to starve yourself. The plan is for you to eat as much as you want, but eat the right things. Okay? So if you're a breakfast person, I'm not a breakfast person, but if you're a breakfast person, now plan your breakfast, because this is one time in the day where if you've got children, if you've got a busy lifestyle, you in the morning you're usually in a rush. Everybody's in a rush to get to school, to get to work and everything, and you're very likely to eat what you're not supposed to eat at that point in time, or you go hungry and then you get to work, and if you're not prepared, then you eat what you're not meant to be eating. So if you're a breakfast person, prepare your breakfast ahead of time. Now, when I started the keto diet, although I'm not a breakfast person, but because I had to go to work and I needed energy to keep up with 30 children, so what I did was I make my own keto granola. When I have the time, I make my granola in large quantity and I store them. But one thing for me, the key breakfast that I had, which I never got bored or tired of, is plain Greek yogurt and 2 boiled eggs. Now I have a very small pot, so I put some plain Greek yogurt in that. Now, initially when I started, the plain Greek yogurt was very, very bland to me, and I just couldn't take it when I started. Now I'm perfectly okay with it. But when I started, what I did was, in order for me to sweeten the plain Greek yogurt a bit, I had now not less fat, please, full fat plain Greek yogurt. So what I did was I used strawberry jam. Now initially I used the normal strawberry jam, but as time went on, I got the low fat or low sugar strawberry jam rather. But I use the strawberry jam, so I put half a spoon of strawberry jam in my yogurt and I stir that in, and then I have 2 boiled eggs. So this was my go-to breakfast every single day when I initially started my keto diet. And then after a while, when I got into the keto diet and started fasting, I didn't really need breakfast, and then but I always have plain Greek yogurt in my food, because that's a quick thing. I can always get that out, put some granola on it, and have it if I haven't prepared anything to eat. So that's like my go-to food, my quick go-to food at any time in the day. So make sure you have a breakfast plan. Prepare your breakfast ahead of time. If you can't, just do as I do. 2 boiled eggs, or how many boiled eggs you want to have, and plain Greek yogurt, not a lot, plain Greek yogurt with a bit of strawberry jam to sweeten it a bit if you can't take the blandness of the plain Greek yogurt. So that's one thing. Then the second thing is avoid snacking. If you can avoid snacking on a keto diet, avoid it, because it will help you in the long run. It will help you. Now, because when you snack, what happens is you give your body extra things to burn, extra things to work on. But if you're able to stay away from food, just eat your main meals and give your body a good stretch of time to be able to burn those fats and those calories and turn it into energy, then you find out that you are losing weight more. But if you want to snack, if you can't stay away from snacking, then there are lots of keto substitutes or keto things that you can snack out there. For instance, you've got the cheeses. Amazon do sell this, and I think I've seen Holland and Barrett. I don't know about Tesco and Sainsbury's, but definitely Amazon and Holland and Barrett. You can buy the cheeses from there. You can have not cheese string, cheese sticks. You can have the baby bells, you can have cucumber, you can have nuts. So these are things that you can snack on, but be careful on the nuts because sometimes you can overdo it without knowing. So I always have cucumber in my house. Cheeses, they can be quite expensive, but if I can afford to buy them, I buy them. Amazon sell a pack of 12 for about £10 or so you can buy those. So if you can't really stay away from snacking, there are keto options that you can snack on. Now the shops also sell bars. They say, oh, low carb bars and all. Be careful with those because they do have quite a lot of sugar, some of them, and they do have some ingredients that you're not supposed to have while you're on a keto diet. So be careful. For me, I just stay away from anything bars. I just have cucumber, celery if you like it. I don't like celery. Baby bells, not cheese string, cheese sticks, and then also something else I'm doing. I do recently. I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but I think it's Edam cheese. Now different. I've noticed that different stores take different time to cook. So I just buy the cheese. It's a pack of 10 in it anyway. I just buy a cheese and then I cut them into little strips, put them in the microwave for two minutes, and then that's it. Comes out, let it cool down, and it's very crunchy. So you've got like your crepes. Is more like crepes, and you can have those with hummus or you can just have it dry. So that's another thing if you want to snack on. So you're allowed to have cheese on a keto diet, but please don't go too much and too hard on the cheese because then you overdo it. So but be careful with cheese, but you're allowed to have cheese on the keto diet. So if you can't stay away from snacking, if you must snack, then feel free to, but snack on the right things. Snack on keto things that you can have. We're not allowed fruits on the keto diet. Well, you are. You can have strawberries. You can have berries. You can have what else? You can have. I think that's about it. Mainly strawberries and raspberries and all of that. You can also snack on those, or you can snack on boiled eggs. So as I said, if you know you can't stay away from snacking, there are options that you can snack on. But for me, I would advise give your body enough time to burn that fat and that calorie and then transfer it as and help you lose weight with those. Okay, so for me, avoid snacking if you can. And then the next one is fast. Now once you get on a keto diet, it takes a bit of time for your body to get into ketosis, and once you get into ketosis, one thing you're going to find is that you don't feel hungry. You feel very full for a very long time. So that means you're not going to be eating as much as before. So if you can fast, for me, I do the 16-8 fast. But how I do it is I make sure my last meal for the day is 6 or 7 p.m. And after that, I'm not going to eat anything until about 12 noon the next day. So in that way, a lot of my 16 hours fasting will be done while I'm asleep in bed. And then I've just got a short window of time when I wake up, 7 p.m., 8, whatever. When I wake up, then I've got just a short window of time to fast before I can eat. Now, for me, I've been doing this for a very long time, and sometimes I can go on till 2 p.m., 3 p.m. before I have something to eat. But when you're starting your initial time, I would say do the 16-8, try and break off at 12, get something to eat. And then within the fasting period while you're awake, you can have a cup of tea. You can have coffee, and you can have water. So you can have something to drink within the fasting period, but not something to eat. So for me, the 16-8 works. And also, I've also noticed sometimes on a keto diet or in a diet, your weight will stall. It will get to a point whereby you're not losing any weight. So you're doing the right things, but you're not losing any weight. But what I find that when I combine it with intermittent fasting, I tend to find that the weight start coming off again. So try and incorporate some sort of fasting into your keto diet. Now, this is a trick I'm going to share. When I notice that if, for instance, I eat something, let's say I eat a slice of cake or a biscuit, something that I'm not meant to eat on a keto diet. Now, I've noticed that what I've noticed that if I skip the next meal, for instance, if I eat a slice of cake at 2 o'clock, then that means for me, I'm not going to have dinner that night. So if I skip dinner that night, I find that this still keeps me in ketosis because then it means I'm fasting for a longer stretch of time. And then it gives my body enough time to burn off that extra calorie or that extra carbohydrate that I've eaten. And then I still maintain ketosis within that time. So this is what I find works for me. So if I ever eat anything that I'm not supposed to eat on a keto diet, I know I'm just going to set myself a target. I'm going to fast on the next meal. And then that way I burn off that extra calorie and that high carb food that I've eaten. So try and incorporate some fasting. And if you know you eat something, fast the next meal. Skip the next meal to give your body time to burn that off. And then the next one is join some keto groups. Now, this really helped me because I found out that the people in those groups, people share lots of motivational, people share lots of success stories. They share their before and after photos. They share recipes. And to be honest, there are lots of groups out there. You have a UK keto group. You've got, I think you've also got a Nigerian keto group. There's so many versions of keto groups out there on YouTube, Instagram. Find a group and join, because then that way you get to read people's success stories. You get to see people's pictures and before and after, and then that motivates you to keep going. That gives you the desire and the urge. When you think, well, if this person who is weighing this much could do it, then definitely I can do it. So that's one thing that you need to do. Try and look for a keto group and join. Now, there are lots, as I said, there are lots of keto groups, and there are some paid groups. I never joined any paid groups because for me, I didn't see the point. Because every information that you want is out there on the internet. Every single thing that you want, you can get for free on the internet. So I didn't see any reason why I should be paying to join a group. So I joined free groups. And if I looked for anything that wasn't the group, I just searched on the internet, and I think I got more than enough from those ways. So find a free group, join them, and then read people's success stories, look at people's success pictures, images, and then that will help motivate you. And also, another thing I did was to motivate myself at home was I looked for get a mental picture in your head of what you want to make. Set a goal target, get a mental picture, stick it in your room. What I did was I looked for my old pictures when I was about 58 kg. Well, I'm not there yet, but I got those pictures and I stuck them in my bedroom. And that kind of like helped, it set like a reminder to me, and it helped motivate me, because whenever I look at those pictures, I say, well, I want to be like this in however long it is, but I'm going to be like this someday. So that kind of helped me going. I mean, motivational speakers do this a lot. They say, if you've got a dream, if you've got a target, find a picture that kind of portrays what you want. Stick it around your house, carry it in your wallet, carry it in your backpack, and then look at it constantly. That will help. It's the same method. Look for a picture, stick it around your house, carry it around, and look at it, and that will help motivate you. Like, for instance, if I go out and I want to eat something I'm not supposed to eat, and immediately those images, those things will flash in my head, and I thought, well, because I want to go to this weight, I'm going to stay away from this thing. So that kind of helped me stay away from things I'm not supposed to eat. So get a mental picture, stick them around your house, get a mental picture, get a physical picture, stick them where you can see them, and look at them every day. And this will help motivate you to try and lose the weight. Now, another point on my list is, sometimes people say keto is expensive. Keto can be expensive. Excuse me. Keto can be expensive to how you want it to be. For me, I never found keto expensive because I stuck to my normal budget, and I bought what I could buy within that budget. I never went out of that budget. Now, there are lots of fancy things out there, shakes and this and that and that. Guys, I just stuck to the basics. My mixed vegetables, my chicken, my fish, my tuna, my beef, my mackerel, my prawns. I stuck to the basics. I never went outside of the ordinary to buy any of these expensive things. Now, one thing I know that I buy, which I think, if you want to access it, I'm going to be leaving the link below to some of these products. The seriously low carb breads. Now, this is one company that do keto foods. So they do breads and cakes, and I think they've got a bun. For me, that's one other breakfast that I used to have, is the breads. I just buy the seriously low carb breads from that brand, and then I can toast them. I can make a sandwich. I mean, the breads are good. They are the closest that you can find to a normal bread, although they're very thin slices, but in taste, I think they're the closest you can find on a keto diet to a normal bread. So you can buy those. You can buy the cheeses, but don't go over the top. when you go over the top, then it becomes too expensive, and then you say, oh, I can't do it because it's too expensive. No, stick to the basics. Stick to your Tesco, stick to your Sainsbury. Buy the basics, the normal things that you buy. Buy them. Cauliflower is not expensive. Broccoli is not expensive. Buy those and stick to those, and you find out that you will still lose the weight. So you don't have to go outside of your budget to make it work for you, because then you find out that you're spending way too much, and you can't keep it going for that long. So stick to the basics, stick to your budget, and make it work for you. Now, another thing is, some people say, oh, you can't use this oil, you can't use that oil, you're going to use coconut oil. Guys, I used whatever oil I had in my house. If I had coconut oil, I'll use it. If I had almond oil, I'll use it. Sorry, if I had coconut oil, if I had canola oil, if I had olive oil, I'll use it. If I have sunflower oil, I'll use it. I mean, I never went out of my way. Yes, sometimes I buy coconut oil, but I never went out of my way to ensure I've got to buy this particular type of oil, or else I'm not going to have an oil. No. So please make it work for yourself. Don't make it too hard on yourself. Make it as cheap as you want it to be, and you will still lose weight. I had normal milk for this 3 years in my tea. When I have my granola, I have normal milk, the milk you buy from Tesco's and Sainsbury's, the full fat one. I had those I've had those for the past 3 years, and I still lost my weight. Some people say, oh, you can only have almond oil, you can only have you can only have almond milk, you can only have that milk. Guys, just buy what you can afford. I stuck with the normal Sainsbury full fat milk for 3 good years, and I've still lost the weight. Do not make it too hard on yourself and too stringent. Or don't make too many rules for yourself, because then you find out that you just feel you're boxed in a corner. That's not what you want to be. You want to be as free as you can to do the diet. So do not go out of your way to eat what you're not supposed to eat. But as I said, substitute your foods and make it as cheap as possible for yourself. Make sure you have eggs. Make sure you have mixed veg. Make sure you have what else? Cauliflower. These are things that are not expensive. They are cheap things. Make sure you have those things, and then you can make whatever variations you want of them when you're cooking your meal. So guys, do not make it too expensive for yourself. There's lots of expensive stuff out there on the keto diet, but if you stick to the basics, you'll be fine, and it wouldn't be too expensive for you. And I think for me, that's all the points that I've got. So I'm just going to go back again to call them again. So substitute your foods, fast, prepare your meals ahead of time, choose and prepare your breakfast ahead of time as well. Avoid snacking if you can. Have a mental picture, and join keto groups out there. So guys, I hope you got this. I hope you understand them. And then I've got one trick: fast. If you eat something that you're not meant to eat, then skip a meal and fast, and that way you still remain in ketosis. It worked for me. I don't know about your body type, but for me that worked. If I eat anything I'm not supposed to eat, I just skip a meal and I'm fine and good to go. So guys, if you've got any comments, if you've got any questions, I'm going to leave the video some links down below, so you can easily buy the things you need to buy that I've mentioned in the video. If you've got any comments, you've got any questions, ask me. Now in my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you, especially if you're Nigerian. So this video is going to be dedicated to Nigerians. If you're Nigerian, I'm going to be sharing with you my recipes, the soup foods, and how I was able to substitute them. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing those in my next video, so stick with me, and I'll see you shortly. Do have a fantastic week. Again, like, subscribe, and share my videos. All the best. Bye.